right, welcome back to the old Let's Talk About It podcast. Before we go any further, walk your fingers right on the cross, hit the subscribe button.
People's elbow that jump.
Yeah, rock bottom. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, just take a second. I'm going to give you 3 seconds. Subscribe.
There you go.
Yeah, like, comment. If you're listening and you hear something that you like, you can leave a comment. You can say, oh, that was cool. Or have a question or a suggestion. Anyway, we're going to get right to it. Today is another special one. I've been contemplating on how to introduce him because it's a special one. It's actually family. We've done a lot of things together. We're actually only 14 months apart. With me being the oldest, he's the tallest, so everybody thinks he's the oldest.
Better looking.
I'm Ed Jr. I'm named after my daddy, so they usually name the child that's the oldest son after the daddy. You would think y'all would know that, but class is in session. Anyway, he's a father, husband. As far as a profession goes, he's in law enforcement. And as far as on the creativity side, he's a playwright. Nigga, what is you looking at?
Oh.
This nigga is zoned out.
I was looking at the paintings on the wall, man.
We've been in here 15 minutes. You had time to look around. Now you want to be a tourist while we shoot the podcast. Ooh, that's nice. I'm introducing you. You gonna tune up. I'm not even editing. I'm not gonna even edit this out. I'm gonna keep all this.
I didn't know you noticed that. Stop it. Stop. What are you looking at? Lord, we ain't gonna get into the podcast. My bad, man. I'm sorry.
Let me finish.
I'm sorry. Lord have mercy. I'm sorry.
I'm keeping all that in. He's a father. He's a father.
Stop.
Father. Stop. Husband. Brother.
Oh my God.
Uncle. Nephew. As far as the profession goes, he's in law enforcement. I might have said this part already. And as far as creativity goes, he's an excellent playwright. So today we're going to get into several different topics. We're not gonna start that route yet. We're gonna go hard, then we're gonna lighten it up some. Okay, we get serious for a minute. I could start with your background and where you grew up and stuff. Mm-hmm. But we're gonna skip all that today, because we brothers. I know where you're from.
Okay.
You know. Okay, I'm gonna bring it in serious. Okay, you're in law enforcement. Dare not mention your department name, but you're an officer within your department.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. As black people in America, we know the things that we've experienced, and at least the things we've been shown and we've seen on camera, you know, at the hands of the police, the killing of innocent black people, men and women, usually at the hands of Caucasian officers. Mm-hmm. First of all, I'm going to go back. I'm going to start at the beginning.
Okay.
What made you get into law enforcement from the beginning?
I would love to say, like when you ask people that, like a lot of people say, I want to be a cop ever since I was 6 years old, and my father was a cop, my uncle and all that stuff. I would love to say that, but that's not my story.
Right.
Actually, I used to see officers on the side of the road on traffic stops, and I would think to myself, I would never do that because it's too dangerous, doesn't make sense, something I never even considered.
Right.
So what happened was, around 2006, my wife's uncle, Michelle, my wife's uncle. Oh, that ain't right. My wife, Michelle.
Michelle is your wife.
Yeah, Michelle is my wife. Her uncle. I was working at Kelly Reynolds. Working at Kelly Reynolds, delivering furniture. And every time he would come to Emporia, I would always be at work. So he would always he was like, man, Eric working too hard, man. He need to come be an officer, man. He'd be great. And I never even gave it a thought until I got to the point in my life where I was married, had 2 kids, working at Kelly Reynolds, barely making any money. like really struggling to pay bills, and I figured as a man, okay, let me try this out.
You needed a job.
Yeah,
it's a career. You needed something better than what they offered right here in Port.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It wasn't really good insurance, and again, you got 2 kids at home. You got a wife that's dependent on you. So I said, all right, I'll give it a shot, and I filled out the application, and it took me about 4 months with the background check and everything, and I got hired. And to me, when I got hired and when they gave me the conditional offer, it was more money than I'd ever made. So I was like, you gonna give me a badge and a gun, and you gonna pay me this money? Let's rock out. Let's do it. So
I had to take a pause right there,
mm-hmm.
and that's what we need to consider too. Look, listen, I'm not here to let him or anybody else off the hook for any things that have happened, but also when we're dealing with our own people, before we get to the part where the media is showing us everything, think about what he just said. He had a wife and 2 kids to take care of. He didn't go into it thinking about the racism or about I'm going to hurt somebody, I'm going to kill somebody. No, I got 2-3 mouths that are dependent on me. This is the best option because the options in my area just not going to cut it. I've tried several options in my area. I have to do something. Mm-hmm. Think about that sometimes before you just automatically pass judgment. There are situations that you need to pass judgment on. But before you automatically just call a person Uncle Tom or... Actually, Uncle Tom is the wrong one. It's Sambo.
Yeah.
Before you call him a Sambo, think about things like that. People, we have to do some things out of necessity. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to let you get back to your story.
So, yeah, filled out the application, got hired, and before I got hired, I started looking into law enforcement and what it was all about. And regardless of popular opinion right now, law enforcement is still an honorable profession. Okay. And I know there's some things, the system, the larger scale of system, there is systematic racism. There are a lot of things that are not right with the state codes and laws that are passed that are geared towards lower economic status and certain races of people. I understand that. However, I could walk away from law enforcement, but then I think about the children that's been raped. I think about the houses that's been broken in. Myself, my house got broken into.
I remember that.
Back in 2014. So I know the feeling of being a victim of a crime. And when you think of the victims of real crimes, then being in this profession is still honorable, it's still noble, it's still something that's needed. I've even talked to people, they say we should just do away with police and start our own security. Cool. But what they were describing is still police.
Right. You're still describing the police. Yeah. And if you're not in charge of the system, the new system, you're going to be in the same position.
You're going to be in the same position.
So let's stop giving out solutions just by mouth. If you don't really have a way to enact some of these things you're saying, some stuff sounds smart to dumb people. I hate to put it that way. Yeah. But some of this stuff, it sounds good. Yeah, let's do that. What's the infrastructure to it?
Yeah.
Who's funding this? You want to defund one, so where's the money going to come for the other one? And I'm not saying whether I agree or disagree, but just think about it logically. Mm-hmm. How does that make sense? Continue.
Yeah, it's going to end up being the same thing. So, and just to jump forward, now we're here in 2021. Last year, when everything happened, George Floyd and the pandemic and everything, it was really, and I want our people to understand, on both sides, it was really draining for law enforcement because you take someone like me, I'm just a dude. All I want to do, go to work, help a few people, go home to my family. 99% of officers want to do that, okay? You have those that are the bad apples. But what was draining for me was being a part of the black community and also being part of law enforcement.
Too much.
Okay. Man, don't be giving me instructions, man.
You can get out. We can cut this off.
we can skip all this.
I mean, we can just stop it.
My bad. Oh yeah. So being part of the black community and also being law enforcement, it was really draining because what I was doing, I found myself having a lot of conversations of trying to explain to white people how we move and groove and our mannerisms and things like that.
And I'm not doing too much of that. Mm-hmm. You know, but I understand your position.
Right.
I had maybe one or two conversations, but other than that, y'all, in my opinion, y'all know what's going on. Don't play with me like that.
Right.
That's how I look at it. So Go keep going.
Well, yeah, it was draining because now I'm trying to explain to white people how the black community feels or how we do or the culture, but I'm also trying to explain to black people law enforcement culture and how things are not always what you see in the media. Now, I'm not saying, listen, things happen that should not happen. Yes. George Floyd, I'll stand in front of anybody and say that was murder. I don't care how they try to spin that and say, well, he was high on fentanyl and blah, blah, blah. You don't put your knee on someone's neck.
That's right.
You just don't do that. That was wrong. That was murder. That's not what I stand for. That's not what I represent. That's not what 99.9% of the officers that I know stand for and represent.
Okay, so let me interject. So, because I know the politics of it, you can't be too specific on certain things, but certain questions still have to be asked. So, if and when you've seen racism within the department or in general in that area, how has it affected you and how have you addressed it?
Honestly, I can't say that even within my department, I can't say I've seen racism. But I've seen bias towards economic status. I'll put it that way, and that's honest. So I'll say this.
Say it in a little more layman's term.
Okay. There was an issue, in two different neighborhoods. One, there's a higher economic status where people make money, and then there's another issue in a lower income neighborhood. Okay. In the higher income neighborhood, the wrong person got stopped. We'll say that. And so we got a message saying, hey, don't go in this neighborhood unless you're told to, unless there's an actual call for service.
Wow.
But there was nothing said about this other neighborhood that we were constantly in.
Wow.
So there is advantage to being in certain positions in life, having certain influences, and being in certain neighborhoods. That just is what it is. Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it a little more plain, because even though I'm sure some black people that do live there too, it's usually more Caucasians with money have an advantage over black people without money.
Right.
Simple as that.
And we know what it is.
Yeah,
and that's not to say, again, I have not experienced anything within my department that was saying, oh, that person's a racist, that's wrong.
I could maybe think of one, but I'm not gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
You know, he and I had words.
Okay. So,
and in my opinion, he's a racist.
Okay.
And if you ever see this, you're a racist. All right. And if I see you in person, you're a racist. Do something about it. And I'm gonna leave that alone because I don't want to bring no heat on you. Let's go.
All right. I forgot what I was going to say.
I forgot too. I can keep talking about the racists.
No,
I'm just messing. I'm just messing. But I said, anybody specifically.
Yeah.
Outside of that person.
Right. Yeah, I haven't seen anything blatant where you would say, yeah, that person's a racist. It just, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, y'all, to those that view this, but I'm just saying what I have experienced personally, I have not seen it. Okay. I've seen extreme. So and what we need to understand too, and I may be rambling, I hope this works out.
That's okay. It needs to be talked about in some form. And I know it might not be an easy thing to get out.
Right.
Because you have to walk a line, but you want to talk to your people too. I get it.
There's a difference
we ain't
between...
gonna stay on it too long because we got other stuff to talk about too.
There's a difference between racism and bias. Okay, we all have implicit bias, right? We all have within us certain feelings towards a certain group. Like some people, I'll use dogs and cats. Mm-hmm. Some people love cats. Some people love dogs. Some people think cats are the worst animal in the world. They're worthless. They don't mean anything. Other people think that dogs are worthless. They're stinking animals. We all have biases towards certain groups, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a difference between a bias and being racist. And that's what we need to understand when it comes to just throwing out the word racism. Because I think that's the buzzword now.
Let me jump in.
Mm-hmm, go ahead.
Black people, and you can disagree all you want. By the definition of the word, we can't be racist. And let me explain that to you. Mm-hmm. By the definition of what racism is, it's a class of people having the power to exert authority over another class of people. Who do we have power?
Yeah, we don't have that power.
We don't have the economics to do it. We don't have the infrastructure to do it. We can be prejudiced. We are not in position to be racist. Right. So stop saying, oh, that black person racist, or I was racist. No, you're not. Understanding the words you're using will help you. Even that part will help you in the fight. Understanding how you're using your words. Mm-hmm. It's a system of racism that we're losing in right now.
Yes.
Keep going.
And I think we need to gosh, and I hope this don't come out the wrong way. We need to tell the right narrative, okay? When it comes to us dealing with law enforcement.
Okay.
And again, okay, if I stop you for speeding 72 on a 60, right? And I write you a ticket, why would you go back and say, man, that officer didn't have no, he ain't got nothing better to do. He shouldn't have wrote me a ticket.
Right.
Let's start with, were you speeding?
I can't argue with that.
Yes. Did you get a ticket? Yes. Should he wrote you a ticket? Could he have let you off? Yeah, he could have let you off. But let's start with, were you speeding?
You can't be mad at that.
Let's sell the right narrative. When we sell the right narrative, then things are not always what you put it out to be. Just like the news media, things are not always, guys, girls, whoever's listening. The media knows, and everyone knows, all you have to do is say something about race to put us out, to just make us blow up. It may not even be, it may look like that on its face, but that may not really be what it's all about. But because they put black, white, bam, we taking off, okay? And I don't want to sound like I'm taking up for the system. I'm just trying to get y'all to look at it from a different perspective because, go ahead.
Here's the thing. And I get what you're saying. Yes, there is bad things that happen within the police. Okay. The line between what happens with the police and what gets shown overall.
Right.
Here's the thing. They don't want us unified in no type of form.
Right.
So whatever they have to show us to keep us from having any type of understanding, they're going to do that. Right. That's their job to do that. They make money to do that. Shock TV applies to even the news. That's why I don't really get my information from the news. A lot of the stuff I look at is reliable online sources from different podcasts and different news sources. Because a lot of times you get the news sooner. Than, you got to realize a lot of times by the time a lot of stuff hits the news, it's late nowadays. Y'all do know that, right?
Yeah.
Everything is happening online. So a lot of times by the time some of these stories hit the TV, you're at least 24 hours late on a lot of this stuff.
Yes.
And you have their version of what they want to show you. Now, is the police doing stuff they shouldn't be doing?
Absolutely.
In certain cases? Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
But if we keep, and I got to keep going back to this, we always bragging about being the most intelligent people and this and that. It has to apply to all areas.
Yes.
Do we let those police off the hook? No.
Right.
Do we include all of our people with the bad apples? No.
Right.
Keep going.
No, I'll say this. If you're a bad police officer, you don't represent what I represent. You have no right to wear the badge. You have no right to serve the citizens of this country, your state, your city. You need to be doing something totally different. If you're a racist or if you just don't understand how to deal with human beings, that's what law enforcement is. It's basically customer service, learning how to deal with human beings. If you don't know how to talk to people, you don't deserve to wear the badge. However, again, as a people, we need to know that everyone that wears the badge is not automatically a racist because they're wearing the badge or because they're white. I was going to say something and I lost it. I don't know.
That's okay. Okay, I keep going. So is there, because we hear this term, the blue wall. Is that really a thing, or is that something that you hear? Like, is there like okay, because I used to work in law enforcement, not to his degree. I worked in corrections. And let's clear some up too. Y'all be calling folks that work in corrections the police. We needed a job. Anybody that was ever locked up while I was the CO, they can tell you Crawley probably one of the coolest COs you ever wanted to be around. Because I tell you like this, don't let me see you do it.
That's it.
When I make my round, don't let me see you do it. If I see you do it, I got to do my job. Other than that, you ain't going to have no problems out of me because I'm just trying to go home.
That's it.
Simple as that. So I went on that RoboCop stuff. I ain't trying to, I smell some mash. Nigga, I'm trying to do these 12 and go to get me some coochie. Was I supposed to say that?
Reach out and touch the Lord.
No, I forgot what I was saying. No, I was, okay, the blue wall. Is there really like I was saying, okay, in corrections, that's one reason I decided to leave. When it got to the point when I was hearing certain people in authority say, it's us against them. And then when I looked at them, and I realized I literally know some of them.
Yeah.
I literally used to hang with some of them. It ain't me against them because I'm going to see them again. And I'm cool with them. So it's like, I got to remove myself from that. I can't stand on this side of that wall with these people that saying this us against them. Like, no, because I'm kind of a little bit more one of them than I am one of y'all.
So, to answer that, we're trained not to have that mentality, that us against them mentality. Okay. However, if you're not careful, if you don't, outside of the badge and the gun, if you don't deal with regular people on a regular basis, it's easy to get that us against them mentality. That's why when I'm off, I don't hang with police officers. That's true. I hang with regular, everyday people.
That is true.
And especially dealing in ministry, I understand there's two sides to life. So if all you do is hang around law enforcement officers, it's easy to get that mentality that it's us against them, because a lot of times you are, not in just my city, a lot of larger cities, they're going into war zones when they're out and about. So it does feel like all I care about is my brothers and sisters in blue.
Yeah.
So that's why you have to balance out life. That's why I like going fishing. That's why I love going to church. That's why I love just hanging out with my wife and my kids. And so like some days just randomly, that's why I get involved in text messages with y'all while I'm at work, just so I can get out. Yeah. I can get back to
get back to regular life.
Yeah, exactly. What the world is. Yeah.
So you mentioned the church and ministry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you balance that? You're a minister. I mean, what's your official title? Because people know you on Facebook as bishop, and some people think you really a bishop, and you can't tell them no different. Even if you tell them like, that's not my. No, bishop. All right, y'all. That's bishop then. But what is your official title within the clergy?
So in the last 18 years, I've been involved in two ministries. In one ministry, I was ordained as a minister. Another ministry, I was in.
You said 8. I'm about to say.
Yeah, last 18 years.
I heard say you skipped the whole coaching part. But
yeah. I mean, I've been
18 years.
Yeah. I'm 40. I've been in church basically all my life.
Yeah.
Except for maybe like 3-4 years where I've just like out doing whatever. But operating in a official leadership capacity. In one ministry, I was ordained a minister. Another ministry, I was ordained elder and assistant pastor. Right now, Michelle and I, we're actually launching out to start our own ministry. So I guess you would say I'm an evangelist, because I'm the type.
Whatever title you want to be.
Yeah. I mean, that's just what it is.
Bishop of Pimpin. I just made that up. The Apostolic Bishop of Pimpin.
Yeah, it's just I love the Lord. I love Jesus. I love going to church. I love going telling people about Jesus.
You love the people.
I love the people. I love going out, handing out flyers and talking, striking up conversations. That's my ministry. So whatever you call me is you can, and I've never been caught up on a title. I've never really chased a title. My name is Bishop Crawley on Facebook, because when I first got on Facebook, I didn't want people that I arrested looking up Eric Crawley. But now, I mean, it's so easy to find people now anyway, it doesn't really matter. Right. So that's why I call myself Bishop. And plus, it used to be a joke in one of the former ministries. A lady used to call me that all the time. And so the name just stuck.
That's
but
right. I forgot
I've never chased a title. You can call me Eric. You can call me Ayo. I don't care, But if you ask me why I'm so happy, I'm going to tell you why. That's it.
Okay, so we didn't come here to preach today.
Okay, God bless you.
All right. Okay, so you still don't be speaking in tongues on my podcast. I cuss sometimes, so don't speak in tongues. Don't try to sanctify.
There will be no cussing on this episode of the podcast. Oh Jesus!
My bad, Lord. But how do you balance? Because seriously, sometimes you see just a couple of the stories you've told me about situations you've dealt with, where if it had gone extremely bad, you may have had to take some extreme measures,
right,
because you were being accosted and.
At the end of the day, I got a wife and kids.
Okay.
I got a brother and sister. I got a father. I'm going home.
Okay, I respect that. So that's above anything. That's the goal.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going home.
All right.
If I have to take action, now I'm the type. I've always been a fun-loving person, so I've always been the type.
He's the funny one, y'all.
No.
Y'all think I growing up, I was the quiet. I'm the shy one. Like, believe I'm the shy son. He's the funny one, but I guess because he's bishopified and policified.
And sanctified.
We've been in funerals. Don't look at him. Do not. Because he gonna look at you until he would just sit there looking at you. And then just... It could be the saddest moment in the world. And for some reason, he'll find her, and you look at it, you will be laughing at Grandma's funeral. Who was crying hard on the back of the seat?
What's that?
At Grandma Banks' funeral. At Mount Calvary. Lord. They were crying hard, man.
He was crying like it was him dead.
He was crying so hard, he made people that was crying stop and be like, that man crying. Now somebody get him, he crying. Like, I'm crying, but he crying. He miss his grandma.
Lord, that's stupid, man.
Yeah,
Oh
okay.
my God, wow.
Okay. Wow. We're going to wrap up this segment about, about law enforcement.
I don't know what we was talking about either way.
No, it's all good. I got us.
Oh, man.
And like I said, I didn't want to go too deep because ultimately, you're my brother. And even on social media, I don't speak too much on certain topics. Because if you know me, then you know that's my brother. I don't ever want to say something because my views can be matter of fact, can be straight to the point. And even if they way off, sometimes I still put it out there.
Right.
But I don't want that energy to circle back around to my brother. So some stuff I just have to stay away from.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things I don't say either on social media because I know it can be misconstrued or used against me. And somebody could even take part of what I've said now and use it against me.
That's why I don't even want to stay on it.
Whether it's in law enforcement or whether it's in the community, somebody could take it and look at it a different way.
Y'all don't try to twist nothing.
Yeah.
Because we try to twist stuff before they ever get to it.
Right.
Y'all know, so far, you know my platform is about bringing good information, about positivity. Don't twist nothing.
Long and short, what I'm saying, there's good and bad. 99% of us are good, but also our law enforcement officers need to realize that 99% of us black people are also good. I think y'all mentioned on
and anarchy.
Yeah, with anarchy.
He asked,
I don't think I good. Yeah, are black people good? Yeah.
Yeah, in general, we are good people.
We're good people. We're creative. We're thought provoking.
We're hospitable.
We're hospitable. We cook a mean barbecue. Throw a bad fish fry. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking, but we're creative. We're athletic. We're thinkers. Again, hospitable. We're some of the kindest people on earth. But you have to get to know the culture. If you don't know the culture, then you're not going to understand. So what we have to realize too is that you cannot take a white officer, right, that's homeschooled all his life, and then drop him in the middle of a neighborhood and say, not just white, any officer, and drop him in the middle of a neighborhood and say, go solve their problems in 15 minutes. It's just not going to happen. So
he's not going to understand that them people in that house yelling, that's just how they talk to you.
That's how they talk, yeah. We talk
They are loud people. They not mad.
Yeah, we just talk.
When they saying, bitch, blah, 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 they happy to see each other. They not about to fight. We'll let you know when they about to fight.
Right.
They're happy right now when they saying that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it's good and bad in every profession. Like our healthcare system is some of the most suckest healthcare in the world. Yeah. But I'm not gonna tell somebody not to be a doctor. I'm not gonna tell them not to go into or be a nurse. Yeah, go into that field.
That was a pretty good point.
You know what I'm saying? Man, I'm a preacher, bro.
All right, let's go to the next topic. You see, you were doing good.
Yeah.
No, that was. I'm gonna just let y'all think about what he just said. Like, even with everything, I'm not even gonna repeat it. Just let it sink in.
Yeah, let that sink in. And hit my Cashapp. Yeah. Place to dwell. Place the number 2 dwell.
I might put that in there at some point.
Or hit Bishop Crawley, Cashapp, 1 or 2.
Yeah, I might throw your info up there.
I'm just playing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Speaking of just playing, okay, you're a playwright. Okay, we're gonna take it back. Okay, out of the 3 of us, sis, me, you, we each do 3 different things. Mm-hmm. Out of all of us, actually, what I do as far as the oils actually makes the most sense as far as finding a beginning point. Mm-hmm. Because Daddy always liked to smell good, always had the best colognes, and Mama smelled good. But we knew Daddy had that good stuff sitting up there.
Yes.
And he even knew if you took one spray of it, if his bottle was turned just a little,
yes,
he knew it.
He knew it. Yeah.
We still would use it though. Mm-hmm. Still had to smell good. So mine actually kind of makes sense because I have something to link it to.
Right.
Since she wasn't really cooking bacon like that growing up, so I don't know where that came from. It actually wasn't until in the middle of one of your plays that I realized, oh, this is different. And I get to the point, it's going to be a simple part, but let's go back to, how did you even get into writing plays, man?
So, and I have not shared this with many people.
And y'all realize, and I'm going to get you to
go ahead.
As much as we laugh and joke and have talked over the years, some of these questions I don't know. I've never asked him some of this stuff, so y'all will be learning it as I'm learning it. So go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't shared it with many people, but as a child growing up, I was always interested in commercials. Like, I would see commercials and wonder, like, who came up with that concept? And I would imagine, like, people sitting in a room, like, pitching different ideas and, like, ooh, this one is the one that works. So that just always intrigued me.
Okay.
And so how I started writing plays was, growing up in church, where like every year for the Black History program, it was like always the same thing. Someone acted like Martin Luther King. Someone read a Black History poem. You sung "Lift Every Voice and Sing."
Corny.
It was the same old
redundant. I said redundant.
Same old stuff every time. I happened to see this documentary called Unchained Voices, Unchained Memories.
Gosh. I think it was Voices.
Unchained Voices.
Voices.
And it was actors doing it was like the slave narratives. And so I saw it and I was like, this would be dope if I turned this into a live documentary. And so I went to Pastor Woodley, Pastor Eleanor Jarrell, down on Liberty Road. Shout out to her.
Shout out to Pastor Woodley.
And as a matter of fact, she told me to tell you she loved you too.
Hey, Pastor Woodley, I love you. I do. That's still my pastor, even though I don't do church no more. That's still my pastor.
And even in this, there's a message in this, because I went to her towards the end of 2003. I said, hey, what do y'all normally do for Black History? Because I have an idea for a play. And she simply gave the simple words, go to work.
She'll put you to work.
She'll put you to work.
If you have an idea, go do it.
Right.
I became the first children's choir director of the church just by getting the idea, like, we should do this. Okay, you're the choir director.
Yep.
I ain't never directed no choir, Pastor Woodley. I was the first children's choir director. Y'all don't even know that. Go ahead.
So she said go to work, right? So that started, and this was before like really the internet was big, and most people didn't have computers in their home. Even 2004 wasn't that long ago. But
YouTube won't even.
YouTube wasn't big, and everyone didn't have a computer, so you couldn't cut and paste. So I had a passion for it. So I spent countless hours writing out the script. So this was back when if 15 people was in the play, I had to write 15 scripts because I had to give it out. I didn't have the ability to make copies and stuff like that.
Think about that.
It was work.
You wrote out good.
It was work. It
was a lot of people in them plays, boy.
And that's when I knew.
Good gracious.
That's when I knew.
Y'all don't understand, because hopefully you can get some of the DVDs and stuff online. That's a big feat what he did. Go keep going.
Yeah. So it was just when that happened in 2004, when we first produced the first one, like I fell in love with it, and I was like, I gotta do this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And this is the point in that play when I realized this was something different. Like you said, you always have your Christmas play, your Easter play, your whatever other plays you have, and they pretty much redundant. Same stories, same script, the manger, the wise men, Easter, this and that. Okay, there was one scene in the play where it was supposed to be the slaves in the field, and I forgot how it started out.
The picking up leaves.
Yeah.
When I threw the hat.
And Adam in the garden picking up leaves.
God go down and picking up.
But y'all have to understand, it was a lot of people, and they said all of that in unison, and then they performed that whole thing in unison. And I say, this isn't a play anymore. This is a production. You had to be. I'm getting chills now thinking about it.
I am too.
You had to be there for that moment, y'all.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, this is a production. He don't write plays. Just write plays. That was something special, y'all. And from that moment on, even the Black Panthers part, just so many other things we did at the church before he ever got to a stage that were very memorable.
Yes.
Keep going if you got some more to add to that.
So start writing plays for the church. Did that every year from 2004 to 2010. I was writing plays basically by myself.
Yeah.
And then Dexter Ellis joined the church, and we linked up.
What's up, Dex?
What's up, Dex? Late, bro. We linked up, and basically we worked together from 2010 until So 2014 was the first time that we actually put a play out in the public, and that was at the elementary school. And I mean, it's so much to the story, but we did that. We let everybody in for free, packed the house out.
And I usually let people talk more because my brother and I'm a part of some of these stories. No, you understand. Like you said, it's a small town, Emporia. Not a lot of people here. Mm-hmm. But do understand, he said we packed the house out. At that auditorium is usually only like maybe 2 other groups that usually can pack that building. The Meherrin Rivers Arts Council, I think I said that right, when they bring in different things, and when they have the ballet recitals. Mm-hmm. That's really the only 2 groups that do that, and that's groups of people that do that.
Yep.
His production with him and Dexter together was the first one to really pack that house outside of those groups. That was a pretty big deal.
That was a big deal. It was a big deal. And it's funny because every time I do a play,
almost 1,000 people.
Yeah, I think it seats like 936 people.
Yeah.
And it was, every seat was full, plus it was more people. Mm-hmm. So to get into the business part of it, we did that for free. But then we talked to a lady who was like, you use free for church. If you're gonna have a play and you're gonna put all this money into it, all these resources, all this time and energy, you gotta charge. And I got a really good heart, and I would love people to come for free every time.
This dude,
but
we will keep going.
So yes, we had to start charging to, and I'll say, I never really, until last year.
Don't even tell the price.
Yeah, I ain't gonna tell the price, but I never made any money. So if anybody ever thought that I was doing it for money, I never made any money. From 2014 to 2020. I may have made my money back.
But check it out. You still made sure, with the times you were able to, like, that you agreed to pay people, you did pay people.
Because that's what it's all about. I could never pay people for their talent.
Right.
But I tried to at least try to pay them for their time, because I value people's time. And if you value people's time, I got a really good heart, so I would love to do more. But people are not going to support you for your intentions. They're gonna support you for your attention. So if you give them attention,
that's a bar,
and do what you're supposed to do, then they're going to constantly support you. So one year, I think I made $5, but I still tried to make sure everybody else got a little something, because that's what it's all about. It's about giving to people and making sure they can make some money and at least put some gas in the car or pay their rent or whatever. Even with vendors that come to, and I know I'm getting off topic.
No, keep going.
I try to create an event so when vendors come, I want vendors to be able to pay their mortgage when they come.
Well, I was able to pay my rent a couple of times from the joint. I ain't gonna even front.
Because I value their time, I value their product. So if they're coming to my event and they ain't making no money, then the people that support them not gonna come, because don't go to that event because you ain't gonna, ain't gonna be nobody there. I value your time, so it's my job as the playwright, as the producer, to get out and hustle these tickets and be out walking around. Hey, you want tickets? Hitting people up in DMs, making text messages, making Facebook posts, calling people. I'm gonna put in the time because I value your time. So if you're taking time to support me, I'm gonna take all of my time and do what I gotta do to make sure you enjoy the event.
And shout out to anybody that's ever been in any of the plays, especially once they, from church too, but especially once they got to the public. But the last one was special, man. That's why COVID kind of...
Man, it hit hard.
You finally hit that stride, man. See, y'all don't know, once y'all, the ones that have seen it, had the opportunity to see the plays and things of that nature, you see what goes on the stage. You have no idea the chaos that might be going on behind that curtain. Mm-hmm. Like, one play, we did mic checks, sound checks, had been there all day setting up, had ate, everybody was getting prepped. We were ready. Soon as the curtains opened, the mic shut off. Literally. Yep. As the curtains was open, all the mic, not all of them, but most of the mics stopped working. Mm-hmm. We had to improvise on the spot.
I done seen time one year, the guy that was supposed to do the light an hour before showtime, he called and said he couldn't show up. Even when I knew I really was in love, even since 2004, 2017, 2008. So at the end of 2017, I got the flu. Going into 2018, the flu turned into pneumonia.
Yeah, you were sick.
As a matter of fact, January 1st, I went to the hospital and got diagnosed with pneumonia. But I knew the play was in 2 weeks. At the play, I still had pneumonia, but I was still backstage, still doing what I had to do, and I knew, I was like, yeah, there was times when I had pneumonia, I thought I literally was gonna die. I was laying in bed at night scared because I thought I was gonna die. But I knew the play had to go off, and I knew people had paid for their tickets. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to when you own a business or you say you're gonna do something. When you say you're great, you got to show people that you're great. You got to go out and do it. And nobody wants excuses. And I got all these people that paid tickets. I can't refund all this money.
That's right.
So
that's why it ain't for everybody.
We got to make it happen. We got to make it happen.
Listen, y'all, and he just describing parts of it. Yeah. It's so many different moving parts to these productions, and we haven't even gotten to the bigger scale that he's going to get to. It's so many moving parts that you would be amazed to just stand backstage and see everything that's going on to make these couple scenes happen on stage.
Yes.
It's a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff goes wrong.
Yeah.
And without calling names, shout out to the stage manager from last time. Boy, you made it work.
Who was it?
I just said Cal.
Oh yeah, I lost it. Yeah.
You made that job, and not taking away from nobody else, but man, it ran so smooth back there.
Shout out to Calvin Terry anyway, because this guy took his time away from his family to ride with me over the Lowe's to help me buy the product, build the set, and again, I value his time, so I owe it to him to pack out the house. There's no need for him to build his big, beautiful set, and I got 5 people there. That don't make sense. So I'm gonna hustle and do everything I got to do, so at least 500 people can look at his creation, because I value his time. I value his time. So yeah, it's a lot of moving parts when it comes to plays, man. And you got musicians. Shout out to the musicians, man, that I work with. D'Angelo artists, Jonathan Downing, Jermaine Moore, Wendell Williams. Listen, they're so good.
Roscoe, your son.
Yeah, Roscoe.
He played too.
They're so good that I just tell them, hey, I need you to do this kind of music and go do it.
They do it.
And they make it happen, man. And I love it.
Didn't mean to get to call the name because it's been a few different plays.
Yes.
Look, we call somebody.
Yeah.
Everybody that was in it, we love all of y'all.
Yeah.
And could tell some stories about a lot of different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's the future? What's the future with everything going on now? How do we keep it going?
So what was supposed to happen after last year, after we did It Happened to Me Too, we were supposed to move and do the play out in Suffolk. At a beautiful venue where it's well known. I know we would have packed that house out because just the name alone of that venue would have caused people that I don't even know to come just because there was an event there. But the week I was supposed to pay the deposit, everything, the world shut down. And with those people, if you pay your deposit, they ain't gonna give it back. They're gonna postpone it. So nobody knew what the world was gonna do, so we shut it down and ended up doing some different things. But so I got discouraged, to be honest, just like a lot of other creators got discouraged because I was like, that's my arena. My arena is people. My arena is gatherings.
Being able to touch the people.
Right. So I've had a few different ideas since then, but the next idea is going to be an online documentary. I'll be filming a documentary here soon. I won't give too much of it away until it's time to put it out there, but the next thing will be a documentary because that's the age we're in, and that's what we're going to be getting into. So
digital content. Yeah.
I'm just going to jump and learn how to fly on the way down.
If you don't think that's what I'm doing now, I'm blowing my wings every time I do one of these. Y'all got to stop making excuses.
Like a little fruit bat.
Yeah. Y'all stop making excuses. I can go back just 10 episodes ago to my first episode of my podcast, and it looks totally different than it does now. And in 10 more, it might look different and even better because I didn't wait till I had everything perfect.
Right.
I knew it was worth doing. And I said, I'll just learn it as I go. And if I'm putting out good content, the people that it resonates with, they'll stay for the journey. Whether that's 10 people or 10,000 people. I don't need everybody. I just need everybody that's with me.
That's it.
If you understand what I'm saying. I don't need to have everybody, but I just need everybody that rocks with me to rock with me.
Realize Jordan, he lost 7 times before he won once. What if he would have gave up like, man, this team sucks, man, I'm going to jump to another team, or I'm just not going to do it, or I'm going to just go play baseball. We would have never experienced all the greatness of Michael Jordan. So you just got to do it, man. Do it scared. It's going, even when you fail, it's going to be embarrassing. You're going to feel like you let people down. If you believe in God, you're gonna feel like you let God down, but you just gotta do it, man. I mean, Ed says it all the time. Creators create.
You gotta create.
I think the greatest way to give God glory is not in church shouting and dancing. The greatest way to give God glory is to be who He created you to be. So whatever is inside of you, the richest place in the world is the graveyard. Because people have died with so much potential inside of you, and I don't want to have potential. I want to have kinetic. Kinetic is energy and motion. So I want to do it. And I think one thing that helped me be who I am is we grew up in church, so we had to go out and get up on stage and read the scripture and do little sermonettes and sing in the choir. Right? So crowds don't scare me.
Nah.
Like some people get up in front of crowds and they can barely hold a mic.
Nah.
That doesn't scare me. So I cannot not do because I'm always used to doing. So sitting at home, if you're a creator and you're bored, you ain't creating. There's no way a creator can be bored because you should always be, at least if you're not actually doing it, you should be thinking about doing it and making it, okay, all right, I need to do this next, I need to do this next, all I need to do, bam, bam. Sometimes I can't even sleep.
You'll improvise.
Yeah.
Like it'll keep you up. I heard C.T. Fletcher refer to it as your magnificent obsession.
Yeah.
It has become your magnificent obsession.
Yeah.
You got to sleep it. You got to realize, and I'm going to let you get back because it ain't about me.
No, you're good.
But some days the idea, even if it's for Pastor Percy to come to me, I could be 400 miles away. It will not get off of my mind until I park that truck. I literally get in my car, come right to the office, and I have to shoot it right then.
Yep.
I have to drive. I drive 400 miles, park the truck because I'm magnificently obsessed about it.
Yes. And sometimes I try to sit down. I go to work. I come home. I said tonight I'm gonna eat me a good meal. I might work out. I might not, but I'm gonna watch some TV. It's a good show I want to watch. And by the time I hit play, I done picked up my phone and start.
I'm trying to tell you, man,
making something happen, making a flyer or doing something because I cannot just. Sometimes it just
creators create.
Yeah. I can't watch other people create and not create. It bothers me. One thing I don't do when it comes to these plays, I don't watch nobody else's plays, so nobody else can say I got it from them. All the plays are original. I just want to throw that out.
That's why even when people send me funny video clips and stuff, I don't watch a lot of it.
Right.
You're not going to say Pastor Percy copied anybody.
Right.
You're not going to do that.
Right.
I understand when they reference sexual chocolate or. Because, I can understand the character may favor them, but you're never going to say, I took anybody's material. I've seen some of y'all do it, though. And I ain't going to call no names. Some of y'all repeated some Craig Smith jokes, and I'm going to leave it alone.
That's a funny dude. The only time I watch the play is to look at the scenery and actors' placement. I'll mute it. Because I don't want to hear the lines.
Yeah. You just get instructions.
Yeah, I'm just studying the craft.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to study the storyline. Because everything I do, I want it to be original.
Like I study podcasts.
Right.
I have certain ones I like for the information, but I study the structure. Oh, they take this and they do it this way.
Yep.
Or they'll put the clip right here. I'm looking at technique.
Right.
I'm looking at interview styles. I'm not looking at, they said this, let me repeat that.
Right.
Because you could easily Google it and see I took it from somebody.
Exactly.
Now, I might take a point out here and elaborate on it. But creators create.
Creators create.
And when you don't have anything, you improvise. If you come in here and look at what I got, my lighting set up, it looks good, but it's not, I didn't buy this from Amazon. I created it.
And once you start to create, you can't come back down to, and now unless like life happens and you have to start over, stuff happens. But, and this is no knock to anybody, but after I started on the larger scale, Pastor Whitley used to ask me, Eric, can you do a playback at the church? I just can't. Not because the church is not good enough, but because the setup and the mics and the lighting and all of that is not the same. So I can't minimize. I can't minimize the technique because I've seen what it can be.
Now, church people can come to the play.
Right.
Yeah, it just might cost them a couple of dollars, but they can come to the play and get the same experience.
And that was, that used to be so frustrating, man. Because I used to, and I'm backtracking now. When I used to do plays at the church, you don't understand mic placement and all that stuff. Like, you got to write out, okay, this person has this yellow mic. When they walk off stage, they need to put it on the podium. So the next person get on, they got to pick up the mic. You got to write out all those instructions. And
people take that for granted.
It's just, it was a lot of work. But then when you get on that big stage and everybody has the cordless mics, and you got, shout out to Cream, man. Damien.
That's my nigga.
He is my person. He's my person. I don't use that language.
That's the homie right there.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. The ultimate sound man. Shout out to Cream. I could never pay him what he's worth.
Man.
Because without Cream, the show ain't gonna happen.
Ain't no show without Cream.
Ain't no show gonna happen.
Ain't no show without
That's my dude. Shout out to Cream, man. But yeah, it's just so much to being a creator that when you are in charge, all of it falls on you. So it ain't no complaining. Just do it.
But see, everybody not built for that.
Right.
People want to shine. They want to look good doing it. They want to maybe say, I'm a boss, or, we in our bag and hold up a stack of money. Bruh, it ain't about that.
It ain't about that.
It got to be in you. It got to be in here. It got to be something inside of you that just won't let you stop. And you ain't even really concerned about. Okay, I know with me, a lot of the stuff I'm doing there, it ain't even for me.
Right.
The visions I have is because I want to incorporate other people into it to help other people. Even with my podcast, this ain't just for me. It's for me to hopefully help get information out there to y'all. Get a couple laughs out there to y'all. Hopefully inspire somebody. And hopefully be able to, once my numbers get bigger, be able to help somebody's business. Have you on or mention it. Like it's a young lady I buy, I'm getting some jewelry pieces from. I'll probably put a website and thing. I got another.
Put that in your head like a dude.
Got another lion joint with the Cuban link. I got the Cuban links, and these are not gold, so I'm not gonna act like they're gold. They're stainless steel. No, it's fun. It's not fun. It's funny, but think about this. Y'all don't buy gold for the value of the gold. You buy it for the look.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, her jewelry is stainless steel. It's not going to tarnish. It's not going to fade.
That's true.
It's easy to clean. It's more durable. It's not going to scratch as bad because you're wearing it for the look. So don't try to joke. Oh, he got on stainless steel. So
yeah,
your jewelry might be fake. At least I'm telling you what mine is.
That's what's up.
I'll probably put her information in the joint because she got some really dope.
She don't get no shine on my podcast. Not when I'm here.
I almost said something crazy.
But yeah, man, you got when it's in your heart. Like I tell you, it's so much work to put on a play. During the play, I'm loving what I'm saying, but I'm like, man, this is my last one, man. I ain't doing no more. But then when it's over and the adrenaline dumps, and the next day, I was like, I got to do it again.
It's like a high.
Yeah, all the work, it make me want to cry sometimes, man.
I'm not even saying this to be vulgar. Creating is the closest thing to sex, like an orgasm. I'm not even trying to be funny. But that feeling of getting that out, it's the closest thing to an orgasm in some type of way. Because really, that dopamine and stuff is in your brain because you putting that energy out there.
The last play last year, Nikita and Bernadette did so good in that last scene. I cried, and I wrote the script. That's how good it was.
Yo,
I was in the back like, yo. I was looking like, what's gonna happen, and I knew it was.
And you really look at that joke. Nigga, don't do it. Nigga, you know what they gonna do. I wrote it. I know I wrote it. I forgot what I wrote, Lord. Is they gonna do it or not?
I was crying like a city on Harlem Night.
Quick! Man, it's been See, I don't want to get into calling names, man.
Hey, call them, man. Some people that really represent it, man. People that really represent it. I appreciate it. I appreciate all this. Everybody that's ever been a part of any play, any production, whether you work the doors, help sell tickets, whatever, man. A shout out to you.
And start front, y'all hadn't seen nothing like that around here.
Nothing. And you know what surprised me so bad? The same people keep coming back. I'm like, y'all like the last one? Listen, I give God glory. I really do. Yes, it's me, but without him, I couldn't do it. Don't you say that. Don't you say that. Don't you edit it out either.
I'm just let it pass over.
I really, I be so surprised. Like, why all y'all here?
It's dope.
You know, it really just blows my mind.
It's dope to see.
But thank y'all, whoever has ever bought a ticket or whatever, or shared a post, whatever. I appreciate you.
Even if you hate it, you were talking, so thank you too.
Yep, I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
All right, we're gonna transition out of this part because that's not all you do either.
Okay, what else I do?
Crawley Family Center.
The Crawley Family Center. We were looking for a name, and because she's been in child care for like over almost 20 years, and we were looking for a name And she actually went and got the business license, and I was like, so what do we finally call it? And she was like, we're gonna call it the Crawley Family Center. Dope. I was like, really?
That's dope.
I was like, you know that's my name, right? She was like, that's something for the kids. We gotta have our name on it.
Legacy.
And that's what matters. So regardless of what, our name is on the Crawley Family Center. So anyway, we're servicing, Crawley Family Center is servicing 757 area, whether it's Suffolk, Hampton, Norfolk, Virginia Beach, anywhere 757 Hampton Road.
7 cities.
The 7 cities. It's affordable child care. You can look us up on our Facebook page. Go to our website. You can book an appointment. It's great. Michelle is really passionate about it. So that's the child care side of it. However, we want to service the entire family. So we're launching out and also starting a ministry. The ministry will be called the Dwelling Place Ministries. That's going to also, we're going to be a site for homeless shelter, doing certain parts of the winter. What is that? That was the Lord? No, Jesus, I hear you. You see, that was confirmation.
Bluetooth.
That was confirmation. That would be certain parts of the winter. Of course, we're going to have food pantry, marriage counseling, singles counseling. What else? If you just need prayer, we're going to hold church services, praise and worship. It's going to be a complete center for the entire family. We're just praying right now, looking for a location. We're out and about looking for a location to get that launched, but that's going to be this year. We're declaring, decreeing, and agreeing.
So if you're in the 7-5 or in that area, like Suffolk area, and you know someone or have some type of connection with somebody with some building or property,
yes,
that seem like they could suit their needs, either hit me or hit him, and and pass that information on. It'll be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, it'll be greatly appreciated. In a dwelling place, and I'll say this, and I ain't gonna get too preachy on here.
No, go ahead,
I went through a season of 4 years.
I put some cussing while you talk. It sounds like you cussing. You be in the Lord said. I be like, throw baby. Go ahead.
No, you stupid, man.
Serious. No, go ahead.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. So listen, I went through 4 years of depression from 2014 to 2018. So in the midst of plays, y'all seeing me plays. I did a revival. I was preaching. I was leading male chorus at church. I was doing all kinds of things, but I was like, the smile that I had was not a real smile. There was no joy. There was no peace. My life at home was, I made it miserable for my wife.
Man, be leaving me when I do that. How come yours stayed? I had 2 leave me because I did that. That's why I want to get into the marriage talk, but keep talking because I ain't gonna be staying.
I mean, that's the power of a praying woman, I'm going to tell you.
Man, I prayed too. Act like yours did something more than what mine did. Shoot.
Yeah. All right, I'm going. I see y'all.
No, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead. So, I do want to get into some marriage stuff.
So what I'm talking about what the ministry was birthed out of. So have been reading scriptures. Have been on 72-hour fast. That's 3 days without eating, y'all. Did that several times. 3 days without eating or drinking. Looking for an answer, trying to find some kind of confirmation. Like, Lord, what's wrong with it? What's going on with it in my life? And I started having dreams about the house we grew up in. Like almost every dream, that house was in there in some kind of way. And I ain't gonna even tell one dream that was about you. I ain't gonna tell you because you might edit it out and cuss. But anyway, that house was in the dream. So I kept dreaming about it, And so around 2018, Michelle had put up a bunch of scriptures that dealt with dreams. Or like dream interpretations. So one of them was Haggai 1:4, and Haggai 1:4 says that basically, how can you live in your good house and the house of the Lord lay in ruin? So I was in bed when I read that Haggai 1:4.
Okay.
And that, I don't even know why, it lifted the depression off me immediately. That one scripture. How can you be in your nice house and the house of the Lord lay in ruin? So instantly the Lord said, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're doing a bunch of other things, which is good. Okay. But that scripture goes on to say about how you can make money, put your money in your pocket, but there's a hole in it. You can do a lot of other things, but that comes to no avail. So
because you weren't following your purpose.
I was not following my purpose. So that's where the dwelling place came out, because it began. God was saying He needs a place to dwell, not just a physical building, but I'm doing work, but I'm not really doing the work that God is telling me to do. So that's when I began to go out and hit the street and start telling people about God, telling people about Jesus. It's cool to do it in the church, but that ain't really like. Listen, we grew up with preachers. I could really, if I wanted to fake it, I could preach.
Even there, I could make y'all shout.
Yeah,
because I grew up around it. I still know the lingo.
Right.
It's a craft to it.
Right.
And you have to understand, and I'm gonna let you get back. Us growing up, I know at least me, and I know you did too. We studied preachers. We studied the greats, G. Patterson's. Still the GOAT in my opinion.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. Yeah.
You study their styles. My father, one of the greatest
prayers.
Man, even to this day.
That boy pray.
This was a few years ago, and I got to tell it. Yeah, I was still I was still married. And we was in Maryland for something. I can't remember. I can't remember, just fast forward. But we went back to my uncle's house. Was you there?
I might have been. Probably was.
And he led the prayer. Mm-hmm. And I had to look. My eyes won't close anyway. They might have been closed at that point in my life. I might have been still praying like that stuff. But my daddy was praying so hard and so good. I had to look at that man like, oh my God. Like, where do you get that from?
Classic prayer.
Like, nigga, if I get sick, you praying for me. No, I'm serious, y'all. Like, it's a gift to do what he like. To do what he do like that. You know. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, I could be in a pulpit and I could fake it and I could really like preach. But that ain't. Yeah, I can still preach and I love preaching. Yeah. But God says you need to be out. You need to be out doing it. So that's what the ministry was birthed out of, the Dwelling Place Ministries. And our vision is cleansing the mind, body, and soul for effective discipleship. So. That's just what the Dwelling Place is, and I ain't never really shared that with nobody because we're gonna build a building this year.
Okay.
I'm just okay. That's just what it is. But yeah, so that's what that is.
That's good, man. That's beautiful. It's good to. And I know they say sometimes it takes men longer to get into that flow of finally finding their purpose, but it's good when you finally accept and start walking in your real purpose. Because sometimes we'll try to find our purpose through somebody else's vehicle, because that's all we've been taught we had to do.
Right. And
sometimes it might be fear that keeps us there. That says, okay, this is the route to go. Not ever considering, hey, if I'm created from a supreme being and He's giving me a task to do, I can do it whether I'm in this vehicle or not. I'm still going to the destination. Actually, the path I might take probably is the best one because it's the path for me.
Exactly. I can't build your house and build mine at the same time. That doesn't make sense.
That makes sense.
Because the materials I might have for my house, I'm going to give to your house. And next thing you know, your house is built and mine's still laying in ruins. And it's not selfish. But if God has put something inside of you, that's what you got to do. You're never going to build as long as you're building somebody else's house.
And me, I try to take the stigma off of some of the stigma off of selfish a little bit because I think there is a healthy selfish. It is.
You got to be.
You have to pull back sometimes. Even on the airplanes, they say, "What? Put your mask on first."
Yeah.
Is that selfish? But I can't help you if I'm over here choking. I'm trying to put your mask on, but
right.
You know, I put your mask on and I can move around a little bit and help you out.
Yeah, for sure.
So I have to pull it back and say, okay, I'm gonna do it this way. I love you, but I got to do it this way.
For sure.
And I got to kind of step back from you a little bit. It's okay sometimes.
And that's how, and just to get rid of the stigma, I think a lot of times, so that's how a lot of churches are birthed. Okay, some churches are birthed because of division and because I want to preach every Sunday, so I'm gonna go start me a church. That's
all of y'all can't preach.
Right. That's whack. Or because as long as you're dealing with church, you're dealing with humans. So people disagree, and that does split churches sometimes. But a lot of times churches are built because everybody's not meant to follow. There's no need to sit at a buffet and just keep getting fat. You need to take some of that buffet food and go give it to somebody. I've been in church I'm 40. Basically been in church 40 years. There's no need for me to keep going to somebody's church, getting preached to. Stop yelling at me. I need to be going to give that to somebody. So a lot of times that's how churches are birthed because, yes, there's always something I can learn. I'm not saying I know it all, but I really don't need to be sitting getting preached to.
Some people do graduate beyond the point of just you. And I'm using the word graduate. You get from the point where, okay, I've learned this. Now it's time for me to pour it back into some other people.
Right.
Some are always going to be followers.
Right.
So,
and that's cool.
You know, and that's fine because
that's what you do. Yeah.
Whether you're in the church or whatever type of membership, you need people to follow.
Yeah.
But everybody won't remain that.
Right.
And you have to understand that if you feel that listen, be honest with yourself. If you've never read Charlemagne the God's first book, Black Excellence, and I'm not going to cuss, but he had a section called F Your Dream.
Is that the one I read?
It was the first one.
It was one Audible. I can't remember.
That was the first one he put out. Yeah. But it's called F Your Dream. Pretty much saying, just be honest with yourself. If you know if you good at it or not.
Example, playing the drums.
Yeah, you know.
I only played the drums in the band because Ed played. But I wasn't really good.
But I was.
But Ed was good.
I was.
Like I can't to this day I can't play a set. Like to this day, if we had to go back and join the band again, I probably wouldn't do it because I really wasn't good.
I could.
But he was. So honestly, it was no need for me to try to go to Norfolk State and join the band.
MD for life.
Enjoy the band.
Straight up, baby.
Because I would have failed. I wouldn't have made that. So yeah,
it's okay to be honest like that. Like, because I was about to say something. I was about to say, if you feel you're being called to do more, but make sure you feel like you're being called to do more. Right. Make sure your intentions are right. And I'm just because I can elaborate on what some of the bad intentions could be. Just make sure your intentions are right. Mm-hmm. Everybody don't have it, and it's okay if you don't have it.
Yes.
Be the best follower you can be. Mm-hmm. Leaders need support too.
Yes.
That's a part of being a part of the team.
Yeah.
I've spoken about that on like the last couple of podcasts. Leaders need a good team too. Mm-hmm. There's nothing at all wrong with being the best supporting person in up under a leader. It's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all. Yeah.
Instead of you going out trying to be a leader, nobody coming to see you, Otis. Come on, like for real. Straight up. Come to see you, Otis. So just support the person that got the ball. Like if they got the rock, just block for them. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was not a scorer. He said, I don't need to score.
You need to score.
I just need to get the ball and pass the mic. That's all I need to do.
And literally, that's all he knew that's all he had to do.
Yeah, he knew that was his job, so he did that.
And he became the greatest at one of the most basic things.
Exactly. Just
go up in the air, grab it for anybody else, and pass it.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna do that better than anybody else. I ain't got to do all the dribbling. I ain't got to do I ain't got to be Steph Curry and turn all around.
Right.
I got to learn to boo these big niggas out the way, grab the ball and pass the mic.
Big people. Big people around the way.
When I said niggas?
People.
Okay. You will be saying nigga when the video come out. nigga.
No.
I ain't gonna do you like that. Okay. Is anything else you need to plug? So, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm glad you did that. Okay.
I got multifaceted.
This will be the last segment, but this is a segment that probably gonna help me more than anybody else.
Oh Jesus.
Marriage. You've been married for how long? I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Good God. December 1st of this year makes 17 years.
So that's longer than both my marriages. Put it together. Gracious, man.
17 years. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Married 17.
Married 17. We met in 2003. We got married in 2004. So, yeah, this year makes 17 years.
Gracious.
Yeah.
Okay. I know it's more than one. Mm-hmm. If you could give me one, and we're going to get into more, what's one key to neither one of y'all deciding to walk away? Because it has to be, you're not going to tell me in 17 years. And listen, since he ain't never told me nothing, so I'm just talking out, he don't come to me with y'all stuff.
She could have packed her bags and I would have helped her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Being each other's best friend. Being each other's best friend, learning how to communicate.
But what does that look like for real? And I'm not trying to be funny. What does being a person's best? Does that mean you tell them everything? Or what does that mean in a marriage?
We literally tell each other everything. We really do.
Okay.
Whether it's good or bad. If Michelle fixed some food that's not good, I'm gonna tell her, baby, this ain't
trash. This tricky.
Because why am I gonna act like it's good so she can cook it next week, and then I gotta eat that again? You know what I mean? But I gotta tell her in a loving way, like, baby, let's eat something else.
That's why some of y'all still eating hamburger helper now, because you try, oh baby, this good. Whole time like, she just gave me this dog food. So you've been eating dog food for 20 years.
But how do you really put it into effective communication? That's
what does that look like?
So effective communication is shut up, listen, actually listen to what that person is saying.
Not listening to respond.
Not listening to respond, because as long as you listen to respond, you're missing everything they're saying. And take what they're saying for what it's worth, not what you want it to be. Because you can easily
say
listen.
That again. Because I'm you teaching me. He teaching me, y'all. I done been through 2 divorces. He teaching me.
You can easily hear somebody say something and interpret it away. But if they say it, process it, and then respond based on what they say.
And I be going wrong on that part sometimes too.
And just because, and just a lot of different things, just because a person values something different doesn't mean that they're a bad person. They may just.
Do you have an example of that?
So, with okay, and I love my wife, so this ain't Michelle. You do. But Michelle is not, well, at one point in our marriage, she was not the one that's gonna cook all the time. You know what I mean? But we grew up with a mother that cooked all the time. You know? Yeah. This is just a small example. So I felt like, you can get in there and cook some, you know what I'm saying? Cook, fry some chicken or something. Come on, let's do it.
Some grits. I'm
hungry. Yeah, let's do it. But she just values something else. And that's okay. But it took me a while to understand that.
So how do you get to that point where you understand? Because that's a lesson. Mm-hmm. And that's more maturity. Because that didn't cause her to have to change.
Right.
That caused you have to change. So what about, at what point do you say, okay, she don't have to change that. She's not doing anything wrong. Mm-hmm. What clicked in your mind to say, I need to look at it this way?
The thought that, because I wanted her to be more like my mother, right? Mm-hmm. And then I had to think, I don't know how long it took my mother to be like my mother. So why am I putting that?
That's a bar right there.
Ain't that a bar?
Good gracious.
Cashapp Bishop Crawley.
I left my wallet in the car, man. Ain't that some stuff?
So that's what clicked in my mind as far as that was concerned. And that helped with a whole lot of other things when it came to me trying to push her to do what I wanted her to do. And you know, when I stopped trying to push her, my dreams on her, she began to live her life. And now she's doing stuff like being the doula. And because I wanted her to record an album for years. And I was really, really hard on her. Like, you need to record an album. You should be recording an album. Blah, 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 blah. But that ain't really what she wanted to do.
That's not what she wanted to do. Just because she can sing beautifully, don't mean she want to be in the record business and stuff.
And she had to tell me, she's like, Eric, I just want to be a wife and a good mother. But to me,
nigga, you were giving her a hard time, and I'm here trying to find me a wife and a good mother. You trying to force her to do other stuff. I just want a wife and a good mother.
And she had to share that with me. She was like, ever since a little girl. And I actually heard one of her friends say this maybe last year. She was like, when we were kids, we all talked about boys and stuff, and all you ever talked about was getting married and having kids. That's all she ever wanted to do. And I had to realize that, okay, I should not be pushing all of my things, what I think she should be doing on her and making her feel less than, and just be happy for who she is and what she wants to be.
When actually what she wants to do would benefit you.
Would benefit, exactly.
First.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but effective communication, understanding each other. Just because a person values something different doesn't mean that they're wrong. And being each other's best friend and being each other's best supporter. Listen, ladies, when a man knows that you believe in him, man, he can lift up this entire building. All I need is her to believe. If I say, hey, I'm going to go learn how to fly a plane. Baby, go ahead. I'll help you pay for the classes. That's all I need her to say, and I'm going to do it.
And that's what I tell some of the young ladies, like, because we in conversation, they're like, well, what's one of the worst things a person could do, a woman could do? I say, stop believing in me.
That's, man, if you take...
you could cheat on me. If I put cheating and you stop believing on me on the same board, you not believing in me is going to hurt worse than you cheating on me.
It hurts, man. It hurts. All a man needs is your support.
Listen up, ladies. If you got a man that's really going after it,
that's all he needs.
I don't need...
He will do anything.
A lot, just really rock with me.
That's it. If
not,
I didn't believe
not no patronizing way, like, yeah, baby, go on, do your little podcast. Go ahead with yourself.
Right.
No, come cut these lights on.
Yeah.
No, you ain't even got to do that. Just don't play. Just realize I'm serious about it, and don't ever try to. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, man.
if she didn't believe, I would have never wrote any plays.
Okay.
I wouldn't be launching out, starting a ministry. I wouldn't still be a police officer. It's just the fact that she believes that I can do it.
Won't you send me somebody that believes in the Lord?
Even in failures. Now, listen, if you're saying you're gonna write a book for the last 10 years and you ain't even putting nothing on paper, don't expect her to believe
You're
you.
not writing a book.
But if she sees you're doing it, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, ladies. And a man can really move mountains if he knows that you rocking with him for real. And a man should never feel like he's in competition with another man. You should not be comparing him to somebody else.
Oh yeah.
And so the thing is, and I'm glad I'm not single now. My heart goes out to all y'all that's single now, man. Yeah. Because when we were dating, there was no internet and Facebook and stuff like this. So if I told her I love her, or she saw me with my shirt off, bam, I'm the man. But now, if a woman sees you with your shirt off, in the next 5 seconds, she might see something else.
She might see Michael B. Jordan and think you some trash.
Right. So it's like you're always searching for a high because we got these and you have so much other stuff to look at. So it's really, man, I don't know how y'all do it, man, to be honest with you.
It's trash out here.
It's wow.
It's trash.
I believe you can still find somebody that you love and fall in love with, but just in today's climate, I don't know how.
I don't know how. I literally some days I be like, I think I'm just gonna end up single the rest of my life. And it's like a cold reality I'm starting to accept. Like, it's a couple I'm interested in, but I'm not gonna say much.
Because I hear women say they're looking for something. I hear men they saying they're looking for something, and then when they come together, it's not what they're looking for. So I don't know what y'all are looking for.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. Here's what I find. I find that women will say and post all these different things about what they want a man to be. And then they'll run into a guy like me, not perfect, but that I actually do some of these things prior to even knowing me or whatever. But I do some of these things, so I come with that. Then y'all started using excuses of, how could I put this? Because I'm not talking about anybody specific. So I want to say it the right way so they don't think nobody think I'm talking about them.
Right.
But you'll just start making excuses why you can't be the person I need you to be. But it's like, but you said you wanted this type of man. And now that you've attracted this type of man, now you got excuses because of all the things in your past and this and that. Well, stop saying you want that type of man. Yeah. Start saying, I want to be a better woman.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
Say, let me become the type of woman that appreciates that type of man when he comes in my life. Because y'all gonna stop wasting my time.
And nowadays everybody has a past, so you can't continue to use your past as a reason to not allow someone to love you or not love someone the way they're supposed to love. Because the older you get, you're gonna have a past. You didn't live all last year without something happening. So yeah, we know something happened, but you can't judge the person that you're with now on last year.
I don't care about your past as long as your past ain't your present.
There you go.
I don't care how many. Well, I ain't gonna say I don't care how many dudes you've been with, but at the same time, to a point, I don't. As long as I know when you with me, you ain't still out here being with them dudes.
Right.
Because I can't change none of that before me.
That's happened.
It's already done. Whatever your reason was, whether you wanted to do it, whether you was forced to do it, unfortunately, whether you just was in a immature part of your life and you just was free and just whatever. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Just don't do it to me.
There you go.
That's all I care about.
And move on. Because if you do it to him, then you can continue to do the same thing over and over and over. You're going to have another relationship, and you're going to be telling this new man about the last relationship and how that didn't work out. So,
and then you're going to be coming back to me telling me why it didn't work with that nigga.
That person. Oh my God.
All right. A couple more things about marriage. No, I'm going to take it this way.
Come on. I'm with it.
One final question.
Okay.
And I might start asking guests.
Yes. Jesus is. Oh, that's not what.
What are you afraid of?
What am I in marriage?
What are you afraid of in life?
Wow.
Just what are you afraid of?
Wow, man, you hit me with a monster ball. I'm afraid of disappointing my sons. That's really big. I think that would be top. That's probably one of the top on my list. I remember I almost got fired a couple of years ago, and I laid in bed crying like, God, I can't go tell my sons that I failed and I'm not a police officer anymore. I think that would be number one. Failing in their eyes, and I don't do everything right. I mess up all the time. I probably fuss when I shouldn't fuss, and sometimes I probably have the opportunity to spend a day with them when I lay around and don't, you know what I mean? So I'm not always doing what I'm supposed to do, but I think the biggest thing would be to disappoint them.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Well, look, we can wrap it up on that note. That's a good one. Unless you got something else to bring.
Yeah, man, Father. He hit himself.
I'm cutting it out. I'm editing it out.
Oh my God. Wow. That's been an hour and 18 minutes. Man, I need to eat something, man.
Yeah, we can wrap
Y'all
it up.
don't feed around here?
Well, when the women come through.
Man, at least at church.
That's snacks for the lady. Look.
Tell me I can't go to church. At least at church we repast.
Well, you was at church before you got here, won't you?
I was.
Why you ain't go in the little clothes closet? I mean, what it's called? The thing to get you some of them foods that they be getting from the place. I'm sure they got some of that old bread in the table over there on the left side. You know, right? You know. And I ain't said,
on the left side. You're stupid, man. Lord, you stupid.
Look, y'all. Whew. I told you this was gonna be good. I told you it was gonna be good.
I hope it was, y'all. Listen, hit the like, subscribe button, share it. It wasn't a lot of cussing in this, so even if you say it, you can share this one.
And see, I didn't put a lot of cussing. I just put the cuss words y'all using. I didn't go into the compound cuss words. I just used the 4-letter ones that y'all use. I'm glad that y'all joined us today. And I can get him back because we talked about 4 different things. So I can actually get you back to... Actually, I do want to get you and Michelle back one time and talk about marriage. Because I'm not going to just be talking about singles and how dating is trash and stuff. Because there's another side to it that I think I want to get back to. I think. Anyway, I'm still undecided. But yeah, I hope to get y'all back. Thank you for coming, man.
I appreciate you, man. But y'all ain't done this
nigga
person.
Thank y'all for coming. Hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna put all this information in the what is the description. I love y'all and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Accept Jesus into your life. He gonna edit that out. He gonna make it.